We inherited a COCOBOD that could be described as insolvent. A company that owes almost 33 billion cedis. A company, and these debts, some of them are 4 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old. You know, so this is a company that is actually giving out contracts, road contracts, worth 21 billion cedis. And no matter how you look at the financial capacity of this company, I mean, there's no way you'll be able to afford to spend 21 billion cedis on roads in the next 5 or probably even 10 years. And you wonder why we would want to do anything like that. I mean, if you look at the executed jobs, that's certificates that are pending at the cash office, that's about 4.4 billion. And the company also, for some reason, strange reason, decided from 2019 to sign these road contracts in US dollars to Ghanaian contractors, you know. And so it's been terrible. I mean, we owe agrochemical suppliers about $400 million. And some of these agrochemicals, we have not seen them at our stores. But COCOBOD also imports CIF. And so once these importers bring the things to Tema and they issue the BLs or bill of ladings, their work is done.
Okay.
And so if COCOBOD does not take steps to clear these things, you still pay anyway.
Well, what is the CIF?
That's they don't have to clear them.
Okay.
So once they bring them to the port and they hand over the bill of lading to COCOBOD, their work is done. It's now COCOBOD's responsibility to clear these things. So we're told that we're supposed to have over 200 containers of jute, sacks, and agrochemicals at the ports. The National Investigations Bureau is investigating because we don't know where these 200 containers are. But of course, all these ones, once the bill of ladings have been presented to COCOBOD, then there's a liability that we must deal with. And so you also have the issues of jute sacks I spoke about quite recently,
which you lashed about.
Yes, you're right. Because, I mean, it defies, you don't know why people would want to cause such financial loss to an institution that is already bleeding. I mean, at the end of the 2021-2022 season, the records show that COCOBOD had over 94,000 bales of jute sacks in the stores. Yet, COCOBOD went ahead to procure another 75,000 bales, which is in excess of $45 million. Now, each bale contains 300 sacks. And so your projected production also determines the number of sacks that you would need. Now, these sacks came in, COCOBOD cleared these sacks minus some a little under 1,000. They couldn't clear that. And that year, COCOBOD used a little over 50,000 sacks, which meant that what was in stock was more than enough to deal with what they will need for the subsequent year. The next year, COCOBOD, despite the fact that he had over 111,000 sacks in his stores, still want to procure another 75,000 bales, which is also in excess of $45 million. And with this particular one, they cleared only 17,000 and couldn't clear over 50,000 at the ports, you know. And this added up to it. That year, we used only a little over 30,000 sacks, because as your production drops, the number of sacks that you use also drops, you know. So
those sacks are still at the port?
I don't know. The NIB is finding out whether we can find them or not. Then the following year, with all these sacks at the ports and all that, COCOBOD went ahead and procured another 56,000 bales, you know, in excess of $30 million. And with that one too, they even cleared less than 1,000. Now the worst part is that, so with all this narration, now you have over 70,000 in your stores. And then you have over 110,000 that you have not cleared over a 3-year period. But guess what? In December of 2024, COCOBOD issued irrevocable letters of credit on the COCOBOD accounts with the Ghana International Bank in London for $48 million to procure 80,000 bales in December 2024. So you have been procuring these bales as against the stocks that you have in your stores For 3 years, you have not been able to clear 110,000 bills. You will not focus on clearing those bills, but you also go and sign another contract for the supply of 80,000 bills at $48 million and issue these letters of credit, and it is irrevocable. So I can't terminate the contract. I cannot reverse the transaction.
You just have to pay.
Those bill of ladings have started arriving. Once the supplier is able to demonstrate that they have provided a bill of ladings covering all the 80,000, the 48 million is wired into the account, $48 million. How do you run a company like this? COCOBOD had a turnaround strategy, yet we never implemented it. Under the turnaround strategy, COCOBOD, and this was in 2023, COCOBOD was supposed to rationalize the cocoa roads and reduce its exposure from 21 billion to 6.6 billion. I arrive at COCOBOD. I go for an off-site meeting. All departments come and do your presentations. It gets to the roads and I find 21 billion. And I'm like, But I thought that under the IMF program, you were supposed to rationalize and bring it to 6.6 billion. I say yes. But that was the desktop analysis. We have not gone to the field to go and actualize it for 2 years. I asked why. He said, we needed to take the consultants there, but we owe the consultants. So I said, who are the consultants and how much do you owe them? So it's feeder roads and highways. We owe highways 120 million. We owe feeder roads 80 million cedis. So how much did you need to give them in order for them to go with you to the field to do this work, actualize the work? So if we gave highways 30 million and gave feeder roads 20 million, that would have been enough. So my question to them was that, so you needed to spend 50 million cedis to engage in an exercise that would take 15 billion cedis off your books. And for 2 years, this is your own turnaround strategy. For 2 years, because of 50 million cedis, you did not engage in this exercise that would take 15 billion cedis off your books. Look, in the last 3 weeks, I've had a meeting with my brother, the Honorable Agboja, Minister for Roads. We put together a joint team from the Ministry of Roads and COCOBOD. This team has gone around the same work that has not been done for 2 years. They've done it. Last week, they presented a report to me.
I see. Which routes are we looking at here?
Well, lots. They're quite a lot. Okay. They're quite a lot.
I see.
Yes.
And how were they able to do this in 2 weeks when for years they hadn't done it?
The same money that they could not pay in 2 years. At the time that we were issuing irrevocable letters of credit for jute sacks, $48 million, $45 million, and we couldn't do this 50 million. It's the same money that we have been able to find for this team to go out there and do this work in 3 weeks. I was telling the finance minister, jokingly, we were having a conversation, and I said, look, I've done my projections. I used 15.5. He says, I'm going to drive the team to 10. It was you I thought about and decided that I'll stay at 12. So this morning I called him and I said, Minister, but you said because of me, you were going to stay at 12 because already by what you're doing, you've shoved off 3 cedis, 50 pesos of every dollar of my projections. So if I'm going to do a sale of $4 billion, you've taken off over 12 billion already by virtue of the performance of the city. Is that going to stay at 12? And now I'm saying 12. That the thing is gone below 12. He says, I'm sorry, my brother, you work with 10.
I see. Which means that COCOBOD will have to find the extra money.
So it works both ways. Now, it means that for our projections, we are going to have about 5 cedis, 50 pesos shaved off every dollar. The flip side too is that for our debt that is denominated in dollars, it sees a reduction. So I now need to do the modeling, the financial modeling, to see where the gains are and where the losses are. But obviously, I've given you one scenario, for example, that by virtue of the performance of the cedi, it has adjusted in dollar terms the producer price from 3.1 to close to 4.1. Yet the cedi value remains the same.